elbows above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Cousins going to bat it forward here on the jet sweep. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 4 yards the pickup, first down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Cousins. This one brought in by Jefferson. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Working with a 2nd and 3. Throwing is Cousins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. 3rd down, here's a run by Cook. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a 1st down.
36 yards on the punt with no return, and it'll be Dolphin football. And the Dolphins with one final possession here in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Tua. Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked by Cameron Bynum, and they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Now Cousins. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And he will have a first down as they're into field goal range now at the 30. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Cousins to throw it. And it's complete right back in the hands of Smith. And they're going to get this down inside the 20. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, let's run through the next-gen stats for the Vikings in that first half. And they've had their way running the football, well over 100 yards already as a team, with 2 more quarters still to come. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, the rushing numbers tell a different story. They really couldn't get a whole lot going on the ground. And the evidence? The numbers. Final preparations being made for the second half, both in terms of game plan and also hydration, because humidity is really going to catch up to these guys, no doubt. And for the call in the second half, we go back to Brandon Gaudin.
Yeah, Coach. Hey, that goes for the announcers, too. No AC in this booth, so we've got a mash unit of empty water bottles up here as well. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And the Vikings set to go on offense to begin the third quarter. Well, it's hard to imagine the first half going any better for them, CD, and now here as they begin their first series of the second half. I mean, if they score here, this one, it's pretty much out of reach.
We honestly might already be at that point, partner, because this team, they were dominant in the first half, continue to be dominant now, and I think they're viewing this as a put-away drive on their way to a lopsided victory.
Now an end around as Cousins will just pop this forward. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 138 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 46. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Boy, 30 more yards and another first down. Well, you talk about catching a defense off guard. They were not expecting jet sweep at all there.
Well, he was 10 yards downfield before the defense even knew what hit him. So a really good play call against a defense that was set up for them to gain big yardage. And how about how they executed the handoff there? That means they spent some time with the wide receivers taking handoffs from the quarterbacks.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Cousins. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
So after the incompletion on first, now second. Kevin O'Connell clearly unhappy with that call, and he's thrown that red challenge flag out on the field. And we'll get a moment here as they look this one over.
Yeah, remember now, the call on the field is what they'll stick with unless they have clear video evidence to the contrary. And I give these officials a lot of credit. Such a tough and demanding job. You and I both know that. Yeah, they make the right call way more often than they get it wrong.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field.
So the decision to challenge does not pan out, and that's also going to cost him a timeout. So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. Cook up the gut. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
On 3rd down, Cousins. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And the Vikings are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
Cook will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Joseph now to have the PAT. Now he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive, 6 plays, 75 yards. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half.
Let's go.
Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. They'll start on the ground with Mostert. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Second down, here's Mostert again. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. The linebacker Jordan Hicks flying in there for the sack.
I know nowadays they give a lot of guys different things when they get to the sidelines after creating a big play, but just throw a cape on this guy because he single-handedly ended multiple drives. Interception earlier, sack on 3rd down. Really? Should have a better game plan installed for how to contain him because he's affecting this game in so many ways.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this will be taken at the 13. A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. Minnesota now ready for their next possession.
And that last touchdown drive they had very balanced. How key is that balance?
It's huge because most of the time when we talk about balance is run, pass, almost 50-50. But most of the times when you talk to offensive coaches, they say balance is we do what we want when we want to. And that means that they're ahead of the defense, keeping them on their heels.
Yeah, they imposed their will on that last drive. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Cousins now. Complete. Smith has it. So the completion good for 7 there. And now we've got a 3rd and 4. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Now Cousins. And this throw will be intercepted. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception is really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of pride in this one.
The Dolphins about set to go to work on offense. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
On 2nd down, this is Edmonds. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Running on 1st down with Gasket. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Play action. Now it's Tua. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by a South Florida native, Patrick Peterson. The 30. 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this 3rd quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
Joseph on for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Greg Joseph, the kickoff for Minnesota.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field.
Well, the disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single point, and on the other side, the points keep piling up and up and up.
So you know the frustration level has to be rising, right? So they've got to find a way to quell that, because otherwise they certainly won't get anything done in this one. Keep diving deeper into the offensive playbook, but bottom line is don't quit competing.
Defensively, Harrison Phillips there to stop him.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw here taken in by Gesicki.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Edmonds running out of the shotgun. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That'll back them up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for Miami. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. This is taken at the 18.
A good kick that time, but also a pretty good 15-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Vikings ready to go again on offense. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Emmanuel Ogbah there on the stop. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. To throw, Cousins.
And that's complete to K.J. Osborne.
Touchdown, Vikings! K.J. Osborne, 61 yards.
And the Vikings get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Joseph now to have the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2.
Greg Joseph, the kickoff for Minnesota.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Miami's offense set and ready to go. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now a give to Edmonds. And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Here's Tua. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by a South Florida native, Patrick Peterson. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line.
Well, there's two. Coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player, you have to know the situation.
Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. They'll run with Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
They try again with Cook, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Vikings will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. And they would not be denied on the ground, powering it in just one play after they got stopped short.
And how about how many tight ends are on the field? Because in today's NFL, we think of the tight end more as a pass catcher. But this group, they tell them you've got to be able to run block to stay on this team. And they committed to it and got it done right there.
Joseph on for the extra point. Oh, and now they're going to fake it. And he gets in. Well, no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. And that's something you almost never see nowadays. When you fake it, you're at the 15-yard line on a PAT as opposed to just going for it from the 2.
I'm sorry. I know they got it, and congratulations to them, but it's just not a good play. I mean, the risk-reward is really off the charts. Not in your favor. Run your offense out there. Put it on the 2-yard line if you want to go for 2. But I'll be darned. They ended up getting that one, didn't they?
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. From the 6. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Dolphins offense returning to the field. Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
It'll be a pickup of 4, and it winds us down to the end of the third quarter.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down. Tua sets up to pass it. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for Miami. And it's fielded at the 34. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and out will come the offense as they take over. And the Vikings now heading onto the field.
Well, they've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
159 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football, because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead. First down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back. But 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels.
Cousins gives way to Cook. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
They run again on first down. Cook. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 18 yards that time to push him up, first and goal.
And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
throwing. Cousins. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Nice gain of 8 that time, but it's 2nd and goal.
It's showtime, baby. The hot.
Cook is in. Touchdown, Minnesota. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Joseph now to have the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook.
Greg Joseph to kick off for Minnesota.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here.
Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the 4th quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while, but everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
And he'll have a Dolphins first down as he's got this past the 35 to about the 37.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
On first down, Tagovailoa.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Let's go.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa.
Open man is Waddle, complete.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
He completes it to Wilson.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. And that play, it wound up losing yardage.
So still 14 yards to go, 2nd down.
Now Tua.
Getting this out to the flat, Mostert.
And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Looking to pass. Tua. Yeah, that one going to be knocked away and incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for Miami. And he'll get this away into the humid Florida sky. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would have, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
And some space here. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 39 yards there, a big one.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and he'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Here's Cook again.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. 9 yards that time.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings.
K.J. Osborne,
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
and the Vikings add another 6 points to what's going to be a blowout victory. CD, it'll go into the books as just one win, but this is a really impressive win. They've done it on defense, and here they continue to do it on offense. Another score in the 4th quarter to widen that advantage.
I like where you were going with that one. Would you say, partner, it was really 3 victories today? Landslide on the scoreboard, emphatic victory on either side of the ball. They really got it done.
Joseph on for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone.
Greg Joseph to kick off for Minnesota.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Setting to throw on first down is Tua. Throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle.
He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Tua finding Gesicki there for a Dolphin first.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by a South Florida native, Patrick Peterson.
And the Vikings are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48.
He'll start by handing it off to Dalvin Cook. And he'll wind up getting about 6 out of that, as that's going to lead us to the 2-minute warning.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
On 2nd down, it's Cook again.
No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get him done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
That one into the hands of Thielen, complete.
And he will have a Vikings 1st down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that
first.
wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy. He came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
Now Cook running right. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with a lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on 1st down. They did that plus 3.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8. Now a timeout called for by the defense as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. They run it again with Cook. And they're knocking on the door now as a good run there. Going to take this to about the 10-yard line. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on first and goal. Up the middle, it's Cook. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up second and goal. Now another timeout called for by the offense. And with that, they're down to 1 remaining here in the second half.
Let's go, y'all.
They'll try again here from the 7 on second and goal. They'll try the middle with Cook, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, this is long since over, and some might see this as overkill, but remember, this is a team that puts on the hard hats, grabs the lunch pail, and tells everyone, we're going to give you a full 60 minutes, and that's exactly how they're playing this one out.
Joseph now to have the PAT. And his kick is good, and flags fly as well. Some frustration showing through right now. This is going to be a roughing call. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Joseph to kick off for Minnesota.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25.
Miami set to take over. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. What silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run, have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory.